As the population grows older and advances in healthcare, people are living longer. All of us are, including people with severe disabilities that used to die much earlier because of their particular complexities. But what we're also seeing is that the longer people live, we have new comorbidities. People on long-term use of psychotropic medications are developing cardiac problems. People with long-term use of anticonvulsants, their motility has changed, their swallowing mechanism, bowel management, intestinal digestive systems, and also bowel management in of itself, and with various contractures of the body, and as the aging body changes, so does our ability to remain properly hydrated. So dehydration, becomes problematic. Lung capacity starts to change in the aging process, and even a healthy person doesn't use their full lung capacity, and it starts to diminish with aging. So when you compound that with the use of medications and not having good preventative health, exercise, it becomes even more problematic. One of the fatal five, they call them, the most reasons for the death of a person with a disability being seizure, dehydration, aspiration. I think there more we've seen around bowel management, bowel obstructions, within the bowel management, is another, cause of death, and falls. That as gaits change, person's ability to walk, and I think even in the typical the non-disabled population, once you have a fall, particularly a broken hip, it's kind of a fast track, to at least a life of confinement, unfortunately, and oftentimes, also moves you much quicker to the end of your life because of secondary problems with pneumonias and just because of your inactivity. People with disabilities, the aging process, the characteristics of aging are magnified. They occur much earlier in life. Why? We think, particularly in the institutionalized population, that they went so many years in their early years of life without good health care, that it's kind of caught up with them. And or it's just the disability characteristics, that the way the metabolism and cell structure, the hydration issue that I mentioned earlier, the long-term use of medications. Managed care is just that. A lot of states, it's really becoming problematic, and as we confront I'm not sure we know how to confront what lies ahead with Medicare, Medicaid, with what CMS is contemplating, and how states will respond if we don't have some standardization in how health care is delivered to poor people or people with disabilities. It's hard not to talk about this population without also remembering that they are poor. So the kind of care that they're getting, I hear people say, oh, they get the same level of care as anybody else does in the community. It's all inadequate. All poor people experience the same thing. Well, that doesn't make it right. So the advocacy need is much greater than just in the disability community. I have a lot of investment in mortality review, which I believe we can learn a lot from. That mortality review should be seen as a learning opportunity and should be used to improve health services and to fully understand preventable deaths. Unfortunately, not all states have adopted mortality review from that perspective. It's still seen as a liability, kind of as a risk management, as an opportunity to find fault or to be found liable, instead of seeing it as a quality assurance measure to learn and how to improve healthcare services.